It's a beautiful journey. I like the way Meghan and Harry have told the story. They're very composed. They come across as very loving, genuine, maybe even a bit apprehensive, but very confident in their telling. We see through their eyes. I'm hungry. I feel like one of those K-drama actors and the Chinese who the growling of the tummy is always, you never see that in any other culture, but it's always in the films that showing hunger and thinking people's tummies don't make them. Anyway, let's get back to Meghan and Harry. Very touching, very lovely. I think this was shot before the baby. The baby is not shown in it, but Archie, we don't see his face much, side profile, but it comes across. It's good for them to explain to the world. You can't really accuse it of being commercial, whatever the rights, but it's more a service to the British public, to humanity, to the world, because there are issues here. The stress, I think it's been edited heavily because I would have liked to really get down and dirty. Let's just say it. Oh, because sometimes the issues of race, how much can you push it before it's acceptable? It's still going to go through a list of many producers, white, and owners of Netflix, white, and the press, white, and mostly, and the great establishment of the royal family. The queen has died. Harry likes the queen. She raised him up. All these issues have to be, but it still comes across as the pain that two people who are genuine in love met, as most people who end up meeting, even if it's a business meeting, a job meeting, a friendship that you form in childhood, in uni, anywhere. Meetings and coming together is always destiny, something, a stroke of luck, of a moment, a timing, a friend mentioning something, thinking about you. So there's nothing orchestrated. There's nothing gold digging here. They liked each other, and it looks like Harry reached out. Harry reached out first, said on Instagram he was smitten, and as bold as he decided to come forward. It's something for all people to learn. Don't know why there's so many single people out there. But about this story, there's issues of race, of stress causing mental health. They didn't say that directly. I wish they did. I mean, is it in the next one? Have they edited everything out? Comes across, is it a bit, it's a lot to learn about two people, but is the opera story was more revealing, was more intense. It's edited. It's a lukewarm to some extent. It touches on, I would say, Afua Harsh is even bold, the way she brought out colonialism, racism. I would have liked to hear it from Meghan's own mouth, except saying I was treated like a black woman and I didn't understand. Maybe she doesn't, because she grew up being treated like a mixed race person and now has to wear being black. Is that comfortable? I mean, is it comfortable to be looked down on? And because she grew up in the privileged, she's not straight out of Compton. She went to good schools. She had a father who was working in the show business. So she experienced, as she said, she remembers her mother. That's the only point you hear Meghan say so. About how race really hurt her is that her mother was called the N-word. Harry even says his children are mixed race. I don't hear Meghan saying it. She calls herself biracial. So I don't think Meghan really, apart from coming into the royal family, understands as deeply as she could, or would, or should, being black. I mean, it's hurt her personally, and it's probably removed some of her privilege, and that's hurtful. She's a loving person, that's my belief, and she's gone to volunteer in Africa, but then again, so do many white girls and black people. How much does Meghan really feel her blackness? It's been shoved onto her. You could say Harry was walking in the footsteps of his mother and probably understands black people more. They've accused him and he has had to address it. The swastika uniform, many young people would make those blunders of, I mean, It was tasteless. He didn't wear it to be racist. I doubt that. He was ignorant, you could say. But did he wear it to be racist? Harry doesn't come across as racist. I mean, calls it unconscious bias. Harry throws more light and argues more for the black cause. It's just like I have a white brother-in-law, and I would say he really is even more African than his wife. So Harry is more black, I would say, than Meghan is. That's my take. Harry is more black than Meghan is. He feels more. The racism may be directed against Meghan, but I don't think she internalizes it as much as such, because Meghan identifies very strongly as biracial. I don't think she ever wants to identify as a black woman, even though I would say, wake up, Meghan, you are a black woman. They will treat you as a black woman. Even just as a Fuahash identifies as a black person, as a black woman, more than Meghan. I'll tell you this, as a black person, that Meghan doesn't come across as identifying as black. Apart from Serena Williams, who is a very affluent, very successful black woman, I've not seen Meghan's black friends so far. I've seen British Fuahash, who is Ghanaian. I've seen Olusuga, who is sounds like Nigerian Yoruba and half white, and as it's Hash. I question so much, how much of being black does Meghan really understand? I would volunteer to say she does not really understand being black. It's being forced upon her. It's an inconvenience, but she's being used by the moment. If she had been happy and not lashed out by the British press, would Meghan be campaigning for race? But God uses us differently. I would say the stronger campaigner here for race is Harry. The stronger campaigner here for people who have less, who have been affected. This is where I guess royal duty comes in. His mother's own experience and the way he was brought up comes across. I feel more Harry is on my side as a black person than I feel Meghan is on my side. I'll say Meghan is just the unfortunate biracial person who got thrown into the racial equation. She might have felt it once in a while, but she could have gone on living the Hollywood lifestyle, as most people would, but that's just our experience. So I don't think anybody should call Harry racist ever again. All right? They shouldn't. He, as I said, is more in the corner of the black person. This is just my take. And really, how does Meghan really fight the black cause? That's what I want to know. She's a public figure. She fights inequality generally. And if it comes to attention, she would fight it. But I don't think she really understands her blackness. She needs to surround herself more very intimately with black people, not just because they're affluent or because they're Serena Williams, not just because she went on holiday, as you said, you were in the middle of nowhere in a tent in Africa. I'm not saying anything, but it is difficult. I think Afua Hash with a Ghanaian parent and Olusoga with a probably a Nigerian parent understands more about race, internalizes it more. Nothing here, I didn't hear one single word where Meghan was really going on about race as much, apart from when her mother. Harry talked more about race, more about how it's offensive. I would have heard from Meghan herself complaining about the lady wearing. I don't think it comes across to me that Meghan doesn't want to identify as black. She's mixed race and she'd rather, and it's a comfort zone for most mixed race people. They would rather be, I have mixed race nieces, they would rather be that. And I'm telling you, even as a black woman, I would rather be maybe mixed race. It's easier to wear. It's very painful and would throw themselves in pain. So maybe Harry, without having that blood, can really look at it without getting so emotionally drained by it. Maybe Meghan would. It's still a discomfort that Meghan has. And she comes across as very unhappy. She couldn't be cast as black. She couldn't be cast as white. So that blackness always follows you to your detriment. It followed her into her romance and love. That would have just been own personal love story. That's how it comes across to me. But I like the fact that she's been thrown there and being used because she's a campaigner for justice. She's a campaigner for equality, more for inequality. I really want to see her come out strongly and campaign for the racial cause. I think it's Harry who's done it. Honestly, that's what I think.